A memory that's really fond for me that connects me to my grandmother is whenever I was having like a really bad dream or something, I would always crawl into her bed and she would pat my back and rub circles on my back and sing me like and kind of like hum me like a special little song.
The first 44 years of my life, I spent every major holiday with my grandparents as a family. My grandfather used to tell us stories about Arizona when we were little because he grew up here when there wasn't anything. It was just all farmland. And he loved to dance. I believe that I inherited that from him. And I feel very, very blessed to have had my grandparents as a big part of my life.
I think the greatest gift that my grandmother brought to our family was the gift of faith.
My grandpa believed that everything could be cured from a chocolate milkshake. Whether you were sick or you just had a bad day, he would go out and buy like a large chocolate milkshake for you. And 99% of the time that worked, actually.
My whole family, my mom, my grandma, my grandpa, my aunt, they would all take me to the Polar Express, and we would all put on our pajamas, and we would eat cookies and have hot chocolate.
I think that always spending holidays with my grandparents and everything is always a fun time. It's always a blessing to have them around. And it's always just a great thing to be able to receive their knowledge and experiences from any time I'm around them and I'm talking to them.
So when I was a little kid, we would always go out and we'd get Village Inn pie. So anytime I stop by there, we'll always have Village Inn pie, and it reminds me of the good old times and stuff like that. Yeah.
My favorite memory of my grandparents growing up was my grandma actually lived next to my Catholic grade school growing up. And so I would go over there a lot after school, and she'd make me a lot of meals. And I just remember a lot of times being in her presence, eating delicious food, and just those small ways that she took care of me.
One of the favorite things that I remember about my grandparents was always, every time we went to their house, they would always have pot roast. And the house would always smell of fresh tea being boiled.
A fond memory I have of my grandparents in which, I carry it on with me. I do it with my kids, through my parents. My grandfather, Tom, and his wife, Lizzie, they were White Mountain Apache, and they were tribal members, so we would go to the reservation to visit, and the thing we always did was hunt and fish, and I think that's where I got my love for the outdoors. I really gained a fondness for just the simple joys in life that I try to live and then pass on to my kids.
I would like to say to them thank you for always being someone I can turn to.
One thing I could say to my grandfather is just that he's my hero. I love him so much.
Go Cubs, we finally did it.
If I could say one thing to my grandparents right now, I would say that I love them and I miss them.
And if I could say one thing to her right now, I'd thank her for helping me get through college.
Just thank you for being there because they're such a big part of my life and they really do help me become a better person.
I want to tell my grandparents that I love them and also that they're great people and they support me in any way possible.
If I could say one thing to my grandparents, it would be that I love them and I cherish moments with them.
And I'd probably say thank you for shaping me to the person I am today.
If I could say one thing to my grandfather right now, it would be either go Cubs or just I love you, because I haven't seen him in a while. So
if I could see my grandparents right now and tell them one thing, I would tell them thank you for being my grandparents.
I'd say thank you. Thank you for instilling that sense of hard work and really just going after what you want into my parents, and then they passed it down to me. My grandma was very classy and hardworking along with my grandpa. I think a lot of those traits were passed down to my mother, which she passed down to me, so I would say thank you to them if I could.
I'm thankful for what they've taught me and how appreciative I am of them being an influence in my life.
I tell you, Grammy, I love you very much. I'm very thankful you're in my life. You've helped me grow a lot as a person, and I don't know what I would do without you.
One thing I would say to my grandparents is that I love them and I'm very proud of them and how brave they've been over the past 5 or 6 years and that they've overcome so much, and it's just an honor to be able to call them my grandparents.